like a machine. In the game we're clean, we're so keen. Hours in the sky, chasing that dream. That dream, obelisk high, we rock the scene. Capturing rhymes while taking what's unseen. On the ark, we're kings, we're supreme. Never seen the limits in a way we ever queen.
Time cross, the entrance, then we will go claim the crown.
We'll tear it down. There's nothing they can never do to take down a crown. And we will pop them down and make the drum sound. There's something inside more blessings sneaking around. Now watch the air still. We're fighting down. Run and charge and calculate the power we bring. Gunning like a panther, hear the battle sing. We're blazing through the ranks on the move and swing. With might in our hearts to take everything. Everything pillars rise as we claim our throne. For victory, we've already grown. On the field we fight, we overthrow the known. Nothing stop us, ain't no way we stand alone.
Time cross, the entrance, then we will go claim the crown.
We'll tear it down. There's nothing they can never do to take down a crown. And we will pop them down and make the drum sound. There's something inside more blessings sneaking around. Now watch the air still. We're fighting death.
From the desert altar to the desert outpost, we crave more. With every sweet stride, we will arrive. We're opening the door. So here's to the grind.
We'll tear it down. There's nothing they can never do to take down a crown. And we will pop them down and make the drum sound. There's something inside
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Global Champions Grand Prix. I am your host, Brian Koo, and I am very excited to bring you this match today between the Chinese team 45Q and the international team Beer. We are here in the third round of the winners bracket here in the Global Champions Grand Prix. These two teams have both won their first two matches, and they are widely regarded as the two best teams in this entire tournament. I say widely, maybe I should correct that. At least from the people who are in the know that I have heard from, the real experts who have been practicing and scrimming with a lot of these teams, they consider these to be the two best teams. There are obviously other teams who are still undefeated. There are other matches going on right now. But those of you who have tuned in to this match, 45Q versus Beer, you are the true fans. You are the true aficionados of the Grand Prix because you have heard the same rumors that I have, which is that these are the two teams to beat in this tournament, 45Q and Beer. Now, there is a lot that can happen in this match, and as the two favorites in this tournament, they are playing for a lot here because not only does it give you a confidence boost against your biggest rival, but it gives you the ability to advance through the winners bracket. You have to play fewer teams if you can win this match today. You deal with fewer teams that can pull an upset on you or just be very, very dangerous if you can win this best of one round match today. And that is what these two teams are playing for. They will try to make it to the winners bracket final by, making it through this match. And it is a very exciting matchup here. With Beer from the international side, you have a team that has been extremely good in the mid. That is their reputation. And in the matches we have seen so far, I cannot remember a single mid fight that Beer has lost. And so they are just a very dominant mid team that plays really well as a team. They fight very well, not only in the mid, but also on the sides. And that has been their calling card. Their calling card is, we're going to play a 3-arc game and win that way. Now, with 45Q, Beer might have met their match, or at least they might have met someone who is equal to them in terms of mid play. 45Q, they are the Realm of Bastet champions on the Chinese server. That means they won their normal Osiris League realm to make it to this tournament. And 45Q thus far, they have won 3 arcs per game. They actually average more arc captures per game than Beer does. So the question here is, what happens when Beer plays someone who is their equal? Because as much as Beer has been a mid-focused team, they have shown a lot of skill and sophistication in terms of gathering and in terms of occupation game too. They are smart with their skill usage, and they deal pretty well with teams who try to really beat them on the occupation and just skip the mid. So, Beer has that ability to be flexible, I suppose, and, deal with a team that's just as good as them mid. Or are we going to see something very different from both teams? I mean, many different things can occur here. And one thing I do want to point out is that if you have good prognostication skills in this game mode of Grand Prix, there are some opportunities in the official Rise of Kingdoms Discord for you to show your stuff. What we are doing this year in the Grand Prix is we are running a poll, and let me go ahead and show that to you now. We are running polls in the official Rise of Kingdoms Discord, where what you can do is you can bet on many of these matches. The matches for this week have now closed, but this is possible in the future to make a bet on some of these matches, including our match today for 45Q versus Beer. You can see that in the Discord, 53% have bet on 45Q, 47% on Beer. If you participate in these polls, you will get the opportunity to win a lot of prizes, including gems, and I believe some speed ups as well. There's just some very good opportunities for you to participate in these polls going forward. So I do encourage everyone to check that out in the Discord. And at this point, let's go ahead and see if we can jump into the game. We're going to be able to get into this match in just a few seconds here. We've also got a poll in the actual YouTube chat, so go ahead and place your bets on who you think is going to win this match. Let me go ahead and send us. So here we go, about 3 minutes to go before this match kicks off. On the top side in blue, we have 45Q, generally regarded as the strongest Chinese team in this tournament. And then here in red on the bottom side, we have Beer, generally regarded as the strongest international team in this tournament. So this is going to be very interesting to see how these teams do against each other. One thing I want to point out as I open up these skill bars for the two teams is that in the past, 45Q has used the skill Total Vision in all of their matches. They use Total Vision in all their matches so far in this tournament. And the thing about Total Vision is that it is a skill that gives you a 10% damage boost for 3 minutes, and it applies everywhere on the map. And in modern Rise of Kingdoms, what we have seen is that teams are not sending everyone to compete for the middle every time the Ark spawns. You're trying to send only the number of marches you need to capture the Ark, and then you use everyone else to fight on the sides. And 45Q using Total Vision, having that skill on their bar and using it frequently, is a good indicator of the fact that what 45Q likes to do is play the side game and play the mid game. Because Total Vision is a very helpful skill in that regard. So we're going to have to see in this match if 45Q tries to do both, tries to compete with Beer at the mid and also win the occupation game, or if we're going to have a more straight up battle where control of the mid and the ability to beat your enemy in a straight up fight in the mid is going to be what determines the winner. So I'm very excited to see what happens here. These are two of the top teams, and I think they're going to pull out all the stops here. They have enough on the line in this match that I think we're going to see the absolute best from both of these teams as we get ready to kick things off here in just a few minutes, or in just a few seconds, excuse me. And here we go. Gates opening. Beer and 45Q casting Energetic. So a very standard opening for both teams here. Using Energetic right off the bat. We see fast cavalry marches getting out quickly from both sides. Beer is going to see this Belisarius Prime as it captures the outpost using the sentry ward that they have placed here. Both teams have a limited number of sentry wards to place that gives them vision of other parts of the map. We can see so far that both teams have only cast, they put down one sentry ward. You can generally have 3 down at a time. Both teams are holding for now. And so both teams are quite far from having total vision at this moment. And let's see what the marches are doing, these fast cavalry marches. Let's see what they're doing here right off the bat. This 45Q march is heading forward. They're heading towards the red team obelisk, trying to get it. And we do see that 45Q, look at how precise these two teams are. Both teams capturing their second obelisk at almost exactly the same time. We can see it on the map that both teams are going to lock in their obelisks at almost the exact same second That is a really good example of how precise both of these teams are. And one of the things I'm going to talk about during this match is how individual player choices can add up and make you look like a very organized team. I think that's a lot of what is required at this top level of Ark of Osiris play, is you need a lot of individual players who just absolutely play their best possible game, who make all the right decisions all along the way. And we did see that with the players in charge of capturing the obelisks. They absolutely captured it as quickly as they could. And now this player from 45Q, instead of trying to grab this obelisk, which is not going to accomplish much, they're just going to scout. They're going to scout these players out, see where beer is moving, and try to get a nice informational advantage to the game. Hello to everybody in the chat. Asir, Gmob, Ari, Travis, Beast Mode, Montander. Let's have a really good match here. And we're about 2 minutes from the buildings opening up. It's the initial rallies that are happening right now. Look at this, beer letting a fast cavalry rally go towards this 45Q obelisk. It's getting chipped down a little bit, but it is gonna hit this thing. Interesting play by beer. We don't see this too often anymore. You see that there's really no other rallies that are hitting these obelisks, but beer's gonna take a shot here, and then they're gonna cancel it just near the obelisk. I think they were trying to maybe bait more players to defend, but look at this. I mean, there's 4 marches from beer, and then just 2 marches from 45Q covering this, and they're going to head to the Shrine of Life where there is an opening. So, interesting play from beer here. They have found a bit of an opening here where 45Q has not put many people at this Shrine of Life, so beer's going to try to get the first capture there. And then now here on the bottom side, interesting, beer going heavy to the outside for sure, but all this movement is being spotted by this blue team sentry, and 45Q does seem to have this covered pretty well at the sky altar here. Fighting beginning to kick off, buildings opening in 40 seconds. Let's see who pulls off the early advantage here. One of the things I'm looking for is whether 45Q can fight with beer. Whether from a kill point to severely wounded perspective, that ratio, whether 45Q can keep things even in this match, because beer has generally beaten their opponents in that ratio. So here, you can see the confidence of beer, where some of their players, rather than being involved in this fight, some of their players have actually broken off. Kiski here breaking off and trying to get the first capture to jump in the sky altar. 45Q does grab the sky altar here. One of the first buildings being captured. And yeah, buildings lighting up all over the map. Let's look at where there are some discrepancies. Here's one discrepancy that we looked at earlier. Beer grabbing the Shrine of Life from 45Q. They've got the Heraclius in here. This was a planned play by Beer to get into this Shrine of Life and try to get the first capture. They've executed it quite well here. Look at this. Only 3 swarmers, one of them being the garrison itself. And so Beer with a nice little play here at the Shrine of Life, but at the same time, the Sky Altar was briefly taken by 45Q, but it looks like Beer has this one handled as well. So let's just look at the map a little bit more. 45Q dealing with Beer at their own Desert Altar. The fighting prowess of Beer not on display at this building. 45Q just holding perfectly fine at their Desert Altar. 45Q also holding fine at their Sky Altar. And look at this, Beer's bottom side really not accomplishing anything here. They're just going to try to kill them marches off and go to mid. We've got 6 minutes to go before the first mid, and you can already tell that this is a close match. Let's just quickly look at the ratios here right off the bat. Yeah, very even. A tiny infinitesimal advantage for Beer, but You know, if I'm going to give either team the edge, I'm going to give it to Beer just because of this Shrine of Life. This was the best play. But even here, it's not going to accomplish anything. Beer is not going to get the first capture of this building. 45Q gets their Shrine of Life back. That will give them very important buffs for this first mid fight. 5% troop health plus 5% march speed. And let's see how things set up. Okay, very interesting now. 5 minutes before the first mid, Beer launching another attack here on this Desert Altar. This attack looks very promising. Very promising attack for Beer. You see that 45Q marches, they have walked home to heal. They sensed this attack might be coming, but Beer was very quick. Beer was very, very quick to refresh, and now they've got a full rally. Well, actually not a full rally. They only put about 2 reinforcements in here. You'd hope that some of these other cavalry players would jump in. Maybe Shinji jumping in this rally would be better. But a half-health rally trying to take down this Eleanor Hera garrison. Beer does have a good swarm on it as well. 45Q trying to get back to this building. Can they make it in time? Here are some fast cavalry trying to get in. 10 seconds left on the first capture. 45Q wants to lock in this first capture here. Are they going to be able to do it? 2 seconds, then it flips. Unbelievable flip by Beer with seconds on the clock. This building now will be up for first capture contention for a long time. A long, long time. This is worth 1,500 points. This building right here is worth 1,500 points. And the first arc is only worth 3,000. So this is another just key building on the map that is going to inform what teams do for the first mid. And then also here at the Sky Altar, I'm not sure if 45Q locked in this building either, actually. It's been flipped back by Beer. Beer flipping both altars before the first mid fight. This is a very strong play for Beer. We saw them struggle in the opening last week against 748W. They definitely lost the opening last week, but Beer clearly winning the opening this time. Their buildings are locking in. They're getting the first captures points in. And now what is 45Q going to do with this building? This really screwed up 45Q's plan. I mean, unbelievable play by Beer to get this thing capped. And now look at this. You've got half health marches. You see how utterly confused 45Q is by what happened. They're trying to kill the garrison. Look at this. They've picked up the Eleanor. They weren't able to kill it. Now they're going to try and swarm this Eleanor down with 5 half health marches. One player not even swarming it yet. Unbelievable. Here comes the rally. The one player is waiting for the rally. The other player just wants to kill off their marches and go mid. So they do get the rally out fast enough to flip this building. Very well handled by 45Q. You know, it was a great flip by Beer, but well handled by 45Q. They're going to have, hopefully this player is going to kill off his marches. They should have swarmed earlier, honestly. This player here should have swarmed this earlier so their marches die. And then they can potentially get to mid on time. Beer has these players that were in this Desert Altar fight who are now going to try to harass people walking to mid. We've got 2 minutes to go before mid. And it looks like both teams are doing a full send to mid. Neither team wanting march. I stand corrected. I stand very corrected. Look at this play from 45Q. We are on a bit of a delay, so this is not giving anything away to show you this. I mean, I have to show you this. This is the biggest play of the game so far. 45Q doing a very sneaky play here. They're doing some sort of an obelisk play. Look at all this empty space here by Beer. All this empty teleport space that has not been claimed yet. What 45Q wants to do is they want to sneak up, grab this obelisk, and then teleport. They're going to give up the mid, but they're making it look like they're going heavy mid. Look at this. Look at how hard they are selling this obelisk play by sending so many marches to the mid that Beer just does not suspect anything. Let's quickly look at the visual range of Beer here. Well, this is blue. Here's Beer. Beer cannot see anything. Beer cannot see these players. They absolutely cannot see these players going to the obelisk as they just lurk just out of range. Just out of range. So there's the Desert Storm from Beer. Beer setting up like this is going to be a normal mid fight. 45Q maybe feels like they can compete for the mid. I'm not sure. It's not that many marches. But let's just, we need, okay, just understand that mid is going on. And look at this, they're still waiting. Interesting. They're still waiting. So there's To the Death by 45Q. They do cast To the Death mid. So they're trying to win mid and steal the obelisk. Here we go. Mid fight kicking off. Does feel like Beer has the numbers advantage here, right? Feels like a bit of, yep. You can see now that 45Q is being wiped, but they've used no mark. They used To the Death to fake the mid fight. Now they're using no mark, and they're probably going in. Yes, here they are. They're going in now. They're going in on this obelisk. Because they've used no mark, they will be able to capture this obelisk a minute faster. So they only need to hold this for 2 minutes. We saw the garrison here somewhere. We saw a Heraclius here. Yeah, the Heraclius isn't even swarming. The Heraclius is trying to stay at full health. And the Heraclius YSS garrison will jump in here right away. There he goes. So now Beer... It's actually only 1 minute. It's only 1 minute because this is not a first capture. So 45Q only needs to hold this for 1 minute. And they will be able to teleport in. This is a huge play for 45Q. Well executed. Beer 100% did not see this coming. And their teleports are very weighted towards this front side. This is big, big trouble for Beer here. Very big trouble for Beer. 45Q is going to control most of the teleport space on this map. And look at this. They flipped it on the bottom side as well. They have flipped both garrisons here with a sneaky play during the mid. All of Beer's marches were mid. All of their marches had no ability to respond to this because they didn't die. None of Beer's marches died, so they all have to walk back. And now look at this. 45Q taking a ton of teleport space from Beer on both obelisks. Look at this, both obelisks. Beer trying to block. They're trying to block a few spots here on the top side, but some of these players are getting in. Here's Huge G just walking over to here. This might open up another space. Beer gets 45Q. Yep, there it is. Look at this. Huge G just walked away and let another player in. In the chat, DeJamal says Beer can win. Whew. I don't know. I don't really think they can. I don't think Beer can win, and this is why. All of 45Q's cities have teleported forward, and Beer has about 15 cities still in the start zone. This is extremely well executed by 45Q. They grabbed both obelisks. Unbelievable play. Unbelievably good play. Look at this. This player look at this. Look at the hold my beer type of play here by 45Q, being like, hold my beer, I'm going to reposition slightly. They just want to make their teleports a little bit better to block anyone else from Beer from getting in. Now, the issue is not that these players are going to dislodge any of Beer's cities. The issue is that these cities cannot be dislodged. Look at the power. Look at the power on 45Q's cities. This is the Grand Prix. Everyone has the same commanders, same equipment, same armaments, and same number of T5 troops. Everyone has massive accounts in this Grand Prix, and because of that, you simply cannot get rid of any of these cities. It is not possible to swarm these cities down and send them home. You can see, honestly, that Beer is very demoralized by this. It's taking them a long time to get back their obelisks. They still have not gotten back either obelisk. All their players are just around fighting at the obelisks. There's a rally here. Let's see the rallies from Beer right now. See, the rally on the top side took forever, right? Unless we saw a rally get swarmed down already, It took the top side a very long time to get this rally started. It's still just preparing. Beer has been aware of this for like 2 minutes, and they just have a rally that's preparing. Maybe there was one that, yeah, see, there hasn't, I don't think there's been a rally on this building. I honestly don't think there's been a rally on this building yet. And so, yeah, Beer's just, they've got to take a deep breath here and figure out a way to deal with this. And the problem are all these marches from the start zone. Now, the only thing these start zone cities are decent at is getting to mid. It's not a very long walk to mid. And you can see that Beer immediately returned the Ark. Instead of like waiting, Beer has immediately returned this Ark. And the next Ark is going to spawn in 6 minutes. Let's see what these marches from the start zone are even going to do here. Look at this. The marches from the start zone are just walking to mid. They're just walking to mid. Look at Valifar here. They're just walking to mid. They died and they're going to middle early because there's just not much they can do if they walk to a building first and fight for a couple of minutes, then they're going to be late to mid. Alpha in the chat saying that 45Q is the leadership of 466. 466 was a dominant team last season. And yeah, I mean, this is a super good, this is just a super good play by 45Q. A very sneaky obelisk play that Beer did not see coming. And they cast 12 points, by the way. Just to talk about how good that play was. They used to the death mid to make it look like they were mid to sort of bait. They almost baited the to the death from Beer. And then because they used stocking up, they had enough points to also cast no mark. If they had not been able to cast no mark, the entire plan would have possibly failed. But that stocking up was a nice cherry on top of a very well executed play here from 45Q. You can see that Beer still doesn't have all their buildings back. They're losing hard on occupation. They're losing hard on occupation right now. And they're just trying to get their own buildings back while also thinking about mid. And, you know, the one issue for 45Q is what do these cities do, right? Down here where there's 4 cities, what do these cities do? Look at this fight. I mean, this fight is in the middle of absolutely nowhere here. You wonder why these players are fighting each other. We also see that 45Q has more gatherers. They have a lot more gatherers. And one reason for that is that it's very hard for Beer to gather, right? These gatherers can be hit very easily from some of these 45Q cities. The chat asking rip Beer or no? Oh, it's going to be really tough. I think it's going to be really, really tough. The thing is, Beer has to win these mids. I just think Beer has to win the mid. And if we're going to judge things by the current mid fight, it's going to be, they're not doing well. Like, they're just not doing well getting to this mid. You can see that 45Q is now starting to flood mid. And Beer just cannot, they cannot get settled. They can't even form a ball. It's not possible for Beer to even form a ball at this point because they're just being ambushed by players who have teleported right next to them. So all these marches trying to walk mid, they're just being completely delayed by 45Q. And then you've got 45Q over here too. They're messing with the start zone players. You know, this player's scouting out the start zone players. You've got another player here just ambushing, just absolutely 100% ambushing players, leaving the start zone. So 45Q is just so deep in Beer's territory that I have a real... I'm very concerned about Beer's ability to win this match. Very concerned. So here we go, 2 minutes before the first mid fight. And it's almost as if it is already kicking off. Now, look, 45Q may have overextended here. These marches from 45Q may have overextended. It's hard to assess just how much damage these marches have done. But they are dying. You know, this part of the 45Q ball in blue is being wiped. And so Beer is now able to mobilize. And they are actually more heavily mobilized than blue. Right? Like Beer is way better mobilized than blue. Way better mobilized. It took them a minute. It took Beer a minute, but they have been able to mobilize much better than 45Q for this second mid. Right now, 45Q has a 1,000 point lead. When we factor in occupation, I'd say the lead is about 2,000 points for 45Q. But if Beer can win this second mid, they will have the lead in the match. If Beer can win the second mid, they will have the lead in the match. 40 seconds to go before Ark spawns. Neither team has everyone here. You can see that both teams have a lot of people coming late. Look at down here at the bottom. So many marches will not get to this Ark fight in time. But Beer, they know the numbers. They have vision of the 45Q army. They know they have the numbers advantage. And now look at this, a master strategy. Master strategy from 45Q. I'm looking for where they're warping. They're warping the players from here. Look at this. They're just getting players to mid at the last second. So these players will come to mid and join this fight in progress. The warp takes 20 seconds. The warp takes 20 seconds. Looks like they're coming in now. 45Q with some late reinforcements trying to flip this Ark. You can see how important this Ark is. 45Q did get the first capture on the Ark. Beer now trying to grab it. 45Q's reinforcements have been warped in. Sad faces from Beer. Heavy sad faces from Beer, but some from the blue team as well. Several players trying to grab this Ark. Who grabbed it? Beer grabs the Ark. Pew Pew Daddy with a nice pull. You try to take what you can get in a close fight like this. A lot of sad faces from Beer. Look at this. Look at how clutch that skill usage was from 45Q. Warping in the reinforcements they needed to win this second mid fight. This strategy may not have worked without master strategy, but they have had all the answers so far. Huge, huge Ark grab from 45Q. Absolutely huge. Beer needed that so badly, and it looked like Beer might win, but then the master strategy, the warp from 45Q turned the tide. That was super good. That's one of the best warps I've seen. That's a standard warp. That's not a steal the Ark warp. That is a get the Ark warp where you do not have enough people mid and you just warp in the reinforcements you need. Really good master strategy right there, and very smart to have it on the bar for 45Q. Understanding how this map would look once you take the enemy obelisks, once you teleport 8 of your players to the enemy side, understanding that you're just not going to get to the mid easily, and then having master strategy there in case you need it. Potentially game-winning decision there by 45Q to use the warp there. Because what they can do now is they can hold this Ark. They can hold this Ark for quite a long time. There will be a third Ark in the match, no matter what. But this ensures that there will not be 4 Arks. And that basically, if 45Q can win the side game going forward, that they will win the match. Big time play by 45Q there. And Beer once again just trying to compensate for their losses on the field. They definitely had suffered a big loss there, losing that Ark. They're going to try and attack the Desert Altar now. And these are the moments where you see whether a team can compete in the match or whether it's just over. You know, we're halfway through, but if Beer can't take a Desert Altar in a spot like this, if they're what they're trying to do, if their play is just going to be straight up rejected immediately, then it's hard to see how Beer wins this match. And you can see that their play on the Desert Altar is being rejected. No rally coming in yet. And yep, Looks like 45Q is going to hold that Desert Altar just fine. And now it's like, what do these cities who are in the start zone do? Now, we have to give Beer some credit that they have managed to get some of their players out of the start zone. There were about 15 players here earlier, and now there are only 7. So they have managed to get a few more players teleported. That's good by them. You can see that the redirection of these two cities, we saw these two players adjust their teleports. It has created a blocked spot right here, it looks like. It looks to me like this spot here is being blocked. So that's why they were redirecting. But here we go. Half the match to go. 45Q with a 2,700 point lead, but once you factor in that Ark, their lead is over 6,000 right now. So the lead for the blue team is more than 6,000 points. Are they just going to return this? No. Doesn't look like it. But maybe. Probably not. So a 6,000 point lead for blue, and they have a lot of gathering. They've been gathering this whole time. All their players are teleported forward. There's a bit of gathering from Beer, but it does feel like 45Q is gathering more. So it's just a huge advantage right now for 45Q. They have the lead, they have more gatherers, they have more buildings, and they have more cities teleported forward. They have pretty much everything you would want to beat a top team like Beer. And they even have the advantage in total kill points to severely wounded ratio. Here's Beer with another attack. You can see Beer is doing what they can to attack and flip some buildings. But this looks like another hold. This feels a lot like another hold. You see the reinforcements flooding in on this Heraclius. The rally is still up. Beer does seem to be... Yeah, and the field is getting cleared. It looks like what blue has chosen to do is clear the field first, kill the swarmers first, and then they will finish off the rally. They left the rally for last here. So another defense there from 45Q. They really have had all the answers so far against Beer. And if you're the red team, what do you do here? I'll be honest, a situation like this is why you sometimes want to have master strategy on the bar. Because with these players from the start zone, there's just not that much that they can do. They have such a long walk to go anywhere that if you had master strategy, I would almost get these 7 players to form up and then warp them to the Ark. More than likely. I'd probably just try to steal the Ark with master strategy. I feel like that's the best answer that Beer has. I mean, beyond that, they just have to try and win the occupation game and give themselves a chance for the 4th Ark. Now, obviously, they're down about 6,000 points, but if they can cut that lead before the last Ark and maybe make the deficit only 5k points, then they have a chance. You know what I mean? If they can win the occupation game for the next 10 to 15 minutes, then they at least have a chance. And Beer has not cast No Mark yet. Like, let's point that out. Beer has a lot of skill points right now, and they have not used No Mark. So if they can do well on the sides, they can potentially get a very good point boost. And it looks like that's sort of what they're trying to do. You see Beer as being very aggressive. I mean, look at this rotation around the mountainside. And you see that 45Q is being very defensive. 45Q knows they don't need to take Beer buildings. They just have to hold their own. So some of their players were actually inclined to run away from that fight, although now they are picking that fight up. We do thank you all for watching this Global Champions Grand Prix broadcast between 45Q and Beer. Throw a like on the stream if you're enjoying the content. And we do have a gift code that I'm going to share in the chat again here. So gift code for everyone watching. Be sure to put that into the redeem box inside the game to get some free rewards courtesy of Lilith Games. So here we go, flipped Sky Altar. 45Q has managed to flip the Sky Altar here. They really do have an advantage on the sides. This is the challenge for Beer, is that 45Q has the advantage because all their players are teleported forward. And let's see what some of these players who are over here are. Well, let's see what they're doing. You can see this player is just walking towards the Shrine of War and trying to support the rally that's on this Shrine of War. It's hard to get the timing right. It's hard to time these players with a rally from elsewhere. But look at this. They are getting to this building. Beer pushing forward, knowing they have to be aggressive. Beer knows they have to flip some buildings. And so they're bypassing this Shrine of War, and this player is just trying to backdoor it. They're just trying to backdoor this building. And it's incredibly annoying for the players tasked with defending this Shrine of War. Now, this player probably could have handled this a bit better. They maybe would have been better to kill the field marches first and then swarm with all your marches at once. But what they're trying to do is just apply constant pressure. They can refresh very, very quickly. So they're just gonna put constant pressure on the Shrine of War and make it so that all of Beer cannot push forward. So here we go, Beer trying to ball up here and push towards this Desert Altar. 45Q sees everything from their sentry. 45Q still holds this Sky Altar. Really good hold by 45Q. This is the final blow, really, for Beer, is that they are losing their own buildings. They've lost their Shrine of Life on the bottom side as well. Beer trying to take back their Sky Altar with a rally plus swarm. 45Q, they're just killing the swarmers. They're not killing the rally, they're killing the swarmers. And look at this, you see the sad faces on these swarmers. And this just looks like a solid hold for 45Q. I mean, it doesn't even look like they're breaking a sweat to hold this Sky Altar over here. So this is a big problem for Beer. Big problem for Beer is their inability to get back their own Sky Altar. They still haven't cast No Mark, because if they were to cast No Mark, it wouldn't be worth very much. You can see that 45Q is absolutely dominating them on points per minute. They're absolutely dominating points per minute. And Beer is just holding the Ark. They're just holding the Ark right here. Just fine. In between a couple of their cities. No chance for Beer to really attack this Ark carrier. Although, honestly, that's what they have to do. It's really their only win condition at this point. They're so far behind. Beer is now 7,500 points behind in this match. And, you know, they're trying to take this Desert Altar. And they're failing. Like, they're failing to take this Desert Altar. And as that's happening, they're unable to take back their Sky Altar. It's almost as if these two lanes on the top side for Beer are not working together. They're both doing their own thing. The inside lane is attacking, and the outside lane is trying to get back their own building. And here's the Bear Garrison from Dizzy. They're trying to swarm this thing back. I mean, they will probably flip this building here in a moment, but there's no rally at the moment. And here comes the rally. Here comes the rally. But it's just taken them so long to get this building back, and the game is falling out of reach for Beer as it happens. So you can see that, once again, 45Q has managed to hold their Desert Altar. Their Sky Altar on the bottom side has been safe. Basically, I don't think this building has really been flipped, except early on in the match. A newer player in the chat asking, why do you say 7,500 when it shows 5,000 points? So my math was a little bit off. It is 5,000 points at the moment, but because Beer holds the Ark, that's another 3,500 points. So it's 5,000 points in terms of the actual scoreboard, but you just have to factor in the points that are being banked by this Ark carrier. And so the lead is even bigger than we thought for the blue team, with their just really excellent play throughout this match. You know, what we saw last season in the Grand Prix was we saw the Chinese teams have better strategies than the international teams. They would win the Ark fights, hold the Ark for a long time, play very well on the sides while gathering a ton of resources. And this just proved to be enough to win against the international sides. And this season's Grand Prix has certainly been much more even. The international teams and the Chinese teams are competing on a very similar level. But in this match, this does seem like an old-fashioned Chinese outplay right here by 45Q, where they just had a better strategy than Beer. They just had a strategy that if they pulled it off, it would work, and then they executed it so nicely. It was really just such a slick execution. Casting the to the death mid was just so convincing. And as they were casting to the death, they were charging these obelisks. They used stocking up to also cast No March. It was just a strategical 10 out of 10 masterpiece by 45Q. And they do just appear to be in extreme control of this match. Look, I think it's very well. I think they pulled it. I pulled it out. I think they pulled this trick out at the right time. This is the winners bracket semifinals. You're up against a team that is considered to be your biggest rival to win this entire tournament. If and when 45Q win this match, they will advance to the winners bracket finals, where potentially, if they win that winners bracket final, they will just sit there waiting for the losers bracket to be resolved. Meanwhile, their biggest rival, Beer's going to be sent to the lower bracket, and they're going to have to get through an absolute minefield of competition to try to make it back to this point. I mean, some of the teams that are in the losers bracket already include 93T, which we'll be watching later, GY16, 489. You know, GY16 and 489 are former Grand Prix champions lurking in the lower bracket. The loser of this match will have to deal with all those teams, with all those dangerous opponents. And so 45Q, they just want to chill in the winners bracket. They want to chill in the winners bracket for as long as they can. So they pulled out this secret strategy of stealing both obelisks. And now they're just gonna make Beer deal with the losers bracket. It's quite genius on many levels. It's genius on many levels at once, honestly. The initial obelisk capture was amazing. Having master strategy on the bar was also amazing. And picking this match to do all this stuff was genius as well. So all of this is very well earned by 45Q. And now they've sort of got it on easy mode where they're like, listen, we're all teleported forward. Our players are just going to keep harassing you. They did return the Ark. Okay, so the Ark did get returned about a minute ago. And so we've got 7 minutes before the third Ark. Beer is way, way behind in the match. But potentially Beer could return 2 Arks. We have to hold out the possibility that Beer could win the third and the fourth Ark. So that's really the win condition. Beer may finally have a good attack on this Desert Altar. It's been rough for a while, but Beer is going to try and kill this Desert Altar now. Now look at this. Look at the decision-making from 45Q. In the past, when these fights were comfortable, they would kill the Swarmers first. In this case, this player is going directly for the rally because they feel like, hey, wait a minute, we might actually lose our building this time. But I don't think it's going to work. These Swarmers got hurt pretty freaking hard. That was a full rally, a full Attila Subutai rally. And Beer's swarming quite well, so it does look like Beer is finally going to flip this Desert Altar. There it goes. Beer does get the flip on the Desert Altar. For the moment, they do control more buildings on the map than 45Q does. In terms of occupation score, it's pretty much even at the moment. But once Beer locks in this building in 2 minutes, they will have the points per minute advantage. And there's the no mark from 45Q. So 45Q using time warp, stocking up, time warp, and no mark. So 45Q getting more points per minute now. And because they use stocking up, they will probably still have plenty of points for the mid fight in 5 minutes. One thing that's interesting to me is that Beer is not using no mark. That is very puzzling that Beer is not using no mark. I assume that they don't want to use it because then they won't have enough points for mid. But you just wonder why Beer didn't use no mark 4 or 5 minutes ago when their bar was for sure full. I think that was a real mistake for Beer to not use no mark earlier on. Beer once again trying to hold their Shrine of War. They've done a pretty good job on this Shrine of War with this player here just non-stop flooding the area. But look at this look at this though. It's so much trouble over here though. 45Q grabbing the Sky Altar again with no mark on. This is terrible for Beer. Look at the points now. Look at the points per minute. 800 points per minute to 260. Just Beer is unable to hold their own Sky Altar. They do have the enemy's Desert Altar. I mean, to be fair, they did flip the Desert Altar. But that one is gone now. And 45Q is just all over this Sky Altar. And look at Beer almost is like giving... I mean, I don't want to get inside Beer's heads, but for them to have just a full attack on this Sky Altar when the Ark is spawning in 3.5 minutes, this says to me that Beer is just trying to keep things respectable, but not really trying to win mid. I don't know if that's the correct assessment, but all these marches from Beer that are pushing out now, they probably won't get to mid on time. These marches that are swarming from Mantu and Pew Pew Daddy, I just don't see these marches getting to middle on time. But obviously they do have to flip this building back, especially with no mark being active. So Beer gets their building back. But then on the bottom side, look at this. The bottom side completely blue. A completely blue bottom side here. And again, look at all these marches that are fighting on the sides and just not going to mid. They're not going to mid. Let's see what they do now. I mean... You know, if you're Sarioga here, if you're Sarioga, don't you just go mid with this white health march? Because your teammates are going to get the swarm done. You have to get to mid. You have to get to mid, you know? So look at all these marches walking home. Look at Stafer. Stafer, the architect of another epic obelisk play in Ark history. Stafer just walking to the Desert Altar rather than going middle. It just feels like Beer has waved the white flag here a bit. It really does. 45Q able to see all of this. 45Q using stocking up again. Didn't they just use stocking up? Look at this. Stocking up has no cooldown apparently. They used stocking up 4 minutes ago, and now they're using stocking up again. 45Q absolutely styling on Beer here. Getting so many skill points for mid. And here's Stafer. I guess he has rotated. Look at Stafer, just unclear about where to go. Yeah, this is an Ark lead right here. This is a very experienced Ark lead, and he had two fresh marches that he brought out, and just had no idea where to go with them. And he's just not even going to get to mid. Like, he's just not getting to mid. But here are the Beer players in red who did get to mid. And they do like their numbers. Beer does like their numbers here, so they're going to push in. Now, the thing is, I think they have Master Strategy again, right? Yeah, 45Q has Master Strategy again. This is the thing. 45Q has Master Strategy again here. Because they used Time Warp to cast No Mark a second time. That resets their entire bar. So they also have Master Strategy again. Let's see where they're building up. Look, right here. Here we go. Look, we spotted the Master Strategy just as it was happening. Not a lot of players here. Not a lot of players. Let's see who else can get into this Master Strategy. Here comes more. Here come a few more marches. They're just going to try and warp as many marches as they can to mid. They're hopping through cities. Let's see if this city guy can get here. Yep, jumps through. So there's the warp. They warped the mid. Just as these players were coming in. 45Q warping in reinforcements. I think they warped here. Let me know if they went somewhere else in the chat. Beer grabbing this Ark. But being harassed. I mean, Cactus has the Ark. Full march. Really good pull from Cactus here. Really good pull from Cactus. There's very few blue marches are hitting this double C Ark carrier. So a good pull from Cactus. Moonlight saying, hey, that's 12 points. But with stocking up, it's a nut. With stocking up, 45Q has all those points. We've seen how powerful stocking up is in the Grand Prix. And it does feel like, you know, 45Q is one of those teams that's using stocking up very well. We also saw GT use stocking up last week. It's notable that Beer has not used stocking up from what I have seen so far. Speaking with one of their players earlier on in this competition, they were aware of the stocking up strategy, but we have not seen them use it yet. And I think that might be a bit of a detriment for Beer, not using stocking up. So third Ark here, you see now that 45Q has cleaned up this Ark. It was a couple of very good pulls by Beer, made this a little bit interesting, but 45Q had way more players mid, and so they did win this third Ark as well. They have now they are coming close to doubling the score of Beer. This is shaping up to be one of the biggest blowouts of this competition so far. And it's really just a slow death for Beer from that early obelisk play. As soon as these 45Q cities teleported in, it became very, very tough for Beer to win this match. You see that a lot of their players have teleported. They've only got 5 players still in the start zone, but 5 players being this far away from all the fighting is a very big deal. It's a very, very big deal. Ark is down here at the temple. 45Q does have like good control of it. You know, it's very difficult for Beer to get to this Ark because, you know, this top side of the map has just been so peaceful the entire game. Because your players are so focused on fighting on your own side, it's just been impossible for red players to even reach areas like these outposts. I would imagine these outposts are just completely empty. Maybe not. Looks like there's been a little bit of fighting here at the outposts. You see that a double C Julius Caesar march did get through, but very few red marches have made it to the blue side of the map. And so that's why just this Ark, like 45Q doesn't even need to stress too much about this Ark because it's very difficult for Beer to ambush them. It's very, very difficult for Beer to ambush them. You can see the Beer's not even going to ambush them from the top side. They're going to make another play at this desert altar. Both teams trying to, you know, work some things out here. I think this is good practice for both teams to play in a match like this, just so you can understand, like, you know, what the ramifications are. If Beer were to ever make an obelisk play of their own, I think they would likely put Master Strategy on the bar. You know, for those out there who lead their own Ark of Osiris teams and who think about making obelisk plays, You know, it's not quite as relevant in regular Ark, because in regular Ark, what you can do is get rid of these cities, or these cities can get rid of your players. I mean, it's very different in regular Ark, because when enemies teleport onto your obelisk, the battle becomes which cities survive. Like, do you push their cities out first, or do they bring in whales who push you out first? So it's very different, actually. I don't think Master Strategy needs to be on the bar in regular Ark matches. But if you happen to be watching this and you're the leader of a Grand Prix team, and you plan to do an Ark of Osiris strategy, I do think having Master Strategy on the bar is very, very smart. Very smart. Because the approaches to mid are very disjointed by both teams always. So if you can bring in late reinforcements, it's just very, very helpful. Let's see what 45Q does here. They can return this Ark immediately because there won't be another Ark. So they're just going to return this Ark immediately, and at that point they will have doubled up Beer's score. No mark finally being cast by Beer. As the moment that 45Q doubled their score, Beer was like, okay, now we cast no mark. We can't get doubled through here. 5 minutes left, and Beer's going to try and keep this score as respectable as possible. But yeah, this has been a dominant performance from 45Q here. They've been strong the whole way. Very impressive play from 45Q. When the match is over, we will go through all of the scores in the other matches, and then I will be able to send you off to the 93T versus DQ39 match. That's going to be happening at 15 UTC today. I do also want to remind everyone that tomorrow on the official Rise of Kingdoms channel is the big 7th anniversary live stream for Rise of Kingdoms. Can you believe it? Rise of Kingdoms has been out for 7 years now, and there's going to be a lot of giveaways and fun on that official live stream. Be sure and click the bell for that event to make sure you're reminded of it and you can get there on time to grab all of the gems, flux scripts, and many other items. I believe there are even going to be some cosmetic items, which I can, you know, some actual real-life merchandise, which I can show you an example of that after the match. I will show you. Yep, it looks like on the live stream tomorrow, you will be getting various Rise of Kingdoms merch, including Joan and Double C figurines. I think I also saw somewhere that you can win a life-size Artemisia body pillow, which I do have one of those. And it's a pretty good piece of merchandise. I thought I would use it more, you know, as like a body pillow when I'm sleeping, but it's a little bit big, I have to say. I prefer to just use a second pillow to sleep on my side. But here we go. 3 minutes left in the match. Big, big fight here at the Desert Altar. Kizzy Rock, I'm glad you're enjoying the content. We're going off the rails a little bit here at the end. But 3 minutes left in this match. Actually, the Artemisia body pillow is for the Discord polls. The Discord polls that I showed you earlier on. If you participate in those polls, there will be giveaways, and one of the prizes will be an Artemisia body pillow, which I'll show you that after the match. I'll be honest, the way they gave away the Artemisia body pillows was at the LA gathering last year. I did not attend that gathering, but I actually got the Artemisia body pillow from this player here, AG. AG is a friend of mine in Vegas, and he was moving and liquidating a lot of his stuff. And he remembered me saying I really would like to get one of those body pillows. And so he gave me his. Quite the community we have here in Rise of Kingdoms. 90 seconds to go. Beer has successfully not gotten doubled up in this match. You can see that they're winning the occupation score at the moment with that no mark. I do think they used the no mark way too late. I think in a match like this, where they were just going to be they were in a tough spot the whole time, I think that Beer needed to use no mark much earlier and then use time warp and then use it again and then use no mark again. I do think that from a strategic perspective, not using no mark twice in this match was a mistake for Beer. And look at this, near the end here, both obelisks getting flipped again. There hasn't been a ton of fighting at these obelisks, but these obelisks are where the match was won and lost. 45Q being able to teleport in and just really lock down this map early on with their superior teleporting. And with 30 seconds left in the match, they have, for the moment, flipped all four obelisks. All four obelisks in blue control, and their one finally flips back for Beer. But yeah, this was a great performance by 45Q. And you know what? We still don't exactly know how 45Q plays. That might be the biggest genius play of all, is that we saw them use a tricky strategy, but we still don't know how they would play in a normal match. There it is, victory for 45Q over Beer, taking down the top international team here in the third round of the winners bracket. You can see that from a ratio perspective, from a total kills point perspective, 45Q absolutely destroyed Beer. And the fighting was actually so intense that both teams did a lot of healing in this match. Provision score, 45Q dominating, absolutely dominating in provisions, dominating in occupation. This was an absolute mauling by 45Q. Unbelievable stuff. And let's go back to the main screen here, and we're going to open up all of the matches and take a look at the results here. Let me go ahead and do that for you. Actually, while I'm here, if you participate in the Discord polls, this is what you can win. Oh, geez. This camera's not very good. Here we go. Artemisia body pillow. It's very big. It's very big. You know what I mean? So if you like to sleep on your sides, this can help you. That's one of the things you can win in the Discord polls. So be sure to participate in those next week. So here are the other matches. This match just went on. 62M1 with the very close win against GT. So the championship round of the winners bracket is going to be one Chinese team, 62M1, against another Chinese team, 45Q. Down in the lower bracket, what happened here today? 748W advancing comfortably against VVRS. 2377 point getting the win against 21YL. So here we go, another international team here winning against 21YL. And then I am gonna send you to this 93T versus DQ39 match in a moment to spectate that. Chisgel and Dirty Dan will be on the call with that. And then GY16 did get the win against 489. So 489 also eliminated from this tournament at this point. And with that, I am going to go ahead and redirect all of you to the 93T DQ39 match. Thank you all for watching today. This was a great performance by 45Q. And let me go ahead and send you off to Chisgel and Dirty Dan.